Broad Street, New London, or test drive our website at tjmotors.com. Experience the TJ Motors difference. Personalized service, an excellent selection, and super fast and easy financing. And remember, buy local and you will save.
The managing director of Paragon Trust Company and tax and private client practitioner joins us to bring a common sense approach to money in a world of total insanity. Let's welcome Tony D'Angelo.
All right, Tony is with us. So as I alluded to before the break and a little bit yesterday as well during the course of the show, that Tony has a hammer of a story that he's going to unleash on you. He sent me a message early on Saturday morning, then sent me the story, and I sat there reading it essentially speechless. So I'm going to turn him loose on that. That's number one. But number two, Tony, actually there's three things. One is good morning. Two is I can't wait to turn you loose on this story about baby bonds. And three is you are always way ahead of the curve. So please start with the story that popped with the New York Times. I think you said you've already covered this for 2 months, but they're actually picking up something you had already talked about 2 months ago, right?
And good morning to you and all the kids. I'm proud to be among you. About an hour ago, the New York Times posted an article regarding PSERS, the Pennsylvania Pension Fund, of which the Lamont Oak HCFT equities are invested in. And the author there does a very good job. She's a financial commentator of how the whole funny money thing works and how the misrepresentation works that private equity firms are doing. And it's getting closer. It's getting closer to home. And that was not anything that I planned to talk about today, but this whole kind of see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil thing in Connecticut. I mean, it's like I read things like that, and you know, no one can keep up a shell game forever. We're going to talk about this other shell game, too.
All right. You got to hit everybody with this one. You know, you sent me this story. I read it. I was like, here we go. This is just another example, shining example of government at work.
Okay, we're going to start right in, not warming up in the bullpen or anything. I started, and that's good. This is something, you know, believe me, I've got 10,000 things that I've got to try to keep my eyes on here when I'm here. And, you know, I'm human, and there's nothing good about being human in those cases. You wish you could be better. But somebody had alerted me to something called baby bonds. Now, when you think government can't get any more irresponsible or stupid or benign or enabling, you see something like this. Now, again, this is a program which did not start in Connecticut. The original idea did not start in Connecticut. Again, few original ideas start in Connecticut. They're parroted from other places. That goes with the zoning. That goes anything you see happening, you could see it happening in another part of the country. But baby bonds are the idea of Cory Booker. You know, Cory Booker, who is, the minute the sock puppet keels over, he's our presumptive VP. And basically what it is, it's that, you know, now, and I'm just going to qualify it by, well, actually, let me get into this first. Every single child born under the Husky Program has $5,000 of Treasury money allotted to that child. And that child has a fund which is managed by the Connecticut Treasury in the investments that the Connecticut Treasury uses. Think, you know, private equity, Lamont equities, you know, Sema4, you name it, it's there. And they give you the rate of 6.9%, which is, quote unquote, the state rate. You know, that's the Ponzi rate for investment. and by the time, it's the 100 boxes of CDs from The Sopranos, Lee Elci. And basically what it comes down to is that by the time this kid is 18, he can jack the money out. And that's basically what it is. There is a very, I say very good, a very telling press release done by the treasurer. This was done on March 25th, 2021, talking about the whole reason of why we need it. And if our friends in New York and Rhode Island think that, oh, look at those idiots in Connecticut, look at what they're doing, they've got a program for you too, guys. So let me tell you, again, this is not an original idea happening in Connecticut. Now, in this document, I count 15 references to race. You know, this is quote-unquote racial equality. To give you some chicken scratch math, that any tin-horn politician should understand to be in office, be you Democrat, Republican, or Martian. There's about 36,000 births in the state of Connecticut. Now, this is prior to, quote unquote, what Connecticut Voices for Children would like to do and admit undocumented or illegal children into Husky. So think about what that number would swell. 5,000 times 36,000 would be a payment of $72 million a year, compounded over a period of 18 years. You are talking $3.5 billion. And I'm just using simple interest by the time this thing is there. But nobody says a word. You know, the governor's doing, he's in the pension fund. There's a state investment. Nobody says a bleeping word. And, you know, hey, we're all going to be, you know, we're all going to see la and get along. And people wonder why. You know, I had a Republican come and ask me for money, and that wasn't a pretty sight. You know, it's like represent the people. You know, and it's like, believe me, the gas tax is ridiculous. The costs are ridiculous. The taxes, but it's like, compared to this, that's like the Mickey Mouse Club on a Tuesday afternoon. My Lord, you're ball, my friend.
All right, so on this plan, you're saying that with 36,000 births a year, right?
Right.
But is this only people on Husky, though, isn't it?
Well, people on Husky, that's right. But the thing is, exactly.
So,
but yet, you know, and not everybody, and what you got to love about Connecticut is not everybody on Husky is a person of color.
Right.
But yet, when the treasurer writes this release, there's 15 references to color and race.
No, and,
you know, it's like, it's very, you know, we're going to be very democratic here. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Well, this has so many different levels of being completely unfair. So you're saying to me, so you're saying to me, somebody who is a hardworking, a family of 4, 5, 8, who's a hardworking pipe fitter over at EB, who's not on Husky, happens to have his own plan, blah, blah, blah. Their kids get squat. They get nothing.
Right.
And some other kid, maybe because they're maybe born into a different situation, they get, you know, essentially the 16 grand at 18, right?
Well, exactly. And think about it this way. And, you know, it's newsflash. People can get very dastardly using public benefits for their own thing. Well, what is to say, you know, well, I will keep, you know, having children, so this way when they're 18, they turn around and they give the money to me and I could buy whatever in the heck I want. Right. You know, it's like, and there's no control. And then you think, well, this is a lot of financial processing. Well, okay, is, you know, what's happening? Is Oculus in this? Is Urgent it? The point being, nobody's asking these questions. Not one person, at least, you know, in the conversation we had on Saturday, has come on this show and said, this is a grave situation. People, this is a grave situation.
So they want to get, just so folks know it one more time again, they want to see the pot for $5,000 allocated at birth to kids who are born on Husky.
Exactly.
And that's by the way, everybody, that's not a one-time thing. That's every year.
Every kid.
Over every kid. And over again. So
36,000 births prior to the admission of undocumented or illegal children.
I just, these folks, they don't, this comes back to the same thing I've talked about a million times. The Democrats don't care about money. They don't care about where it comes from. They just want to seed the field with anything and everything so that they'll get votes. It's unbelievable to me, Tony. It really is.
It's absolutely unbelievable, but yet, you know, again, I try very hard to be green and not red and not blue.
Right.
I could care if Godzilla is my president. Just let me do what I need to do and order what I need to do it. Unfortunately, politics is filtered into everybody. It's like, where are, quote unquote, our better thinking individual politicians, for lack of a better term, to say, hey, this is ridiculous. What's wrong with you people? But, you know, again, they praise the governor. They try to be bipartisan. It's like, you know, this is a six-headed monster, Lee Elci.
I don't know what to say about this except for what's the traction on this? I mean, I can ask a few of the politicians that I have on here.
You can follow it. I believe it has been to committee, and as far as the actual trajectory of it at this moment, I haven't really followed that, other than the fact that I'm just sort of operating on the premise that whatever in the heck they feel like getting through, they can.
Yeah, you're probably right. Listen, I posted that story that you sent my way up on the Facebook thread so everybody can get a read on it. And again, this is Tony D'Angelo one more time, again, ahead of the curve on everybody else. And just to really back up real quick one more time because I want to give you kudos. Tell everybody one more time something that you had months ago that actually just popped today, if you can, just really quick.
Oh, well, actually, we did speak about the PSERS, but the critical race theory?
No, with the Piezers again.
Right. Okay, yeah, no, I'm sorry. The New York Times has reported that there is massive fraud in the Piezers Plan. That's the Pennsylvania State Retirement Plan, of which the Lamont equities are invested in. It started in Philadelphia. It's now spreading up the line. And again, locally, nobody's making that connection into how these equities run. Oh, and this is a little interesting little tidbit. SEMA 4 officially got over the $35 million mark. I mean, it's. I hate to see where this mousetrap is actually headed because it's going to happen. Be it to this whole thing of these equities and how this is all propped up. Who's going to pay for it? Those of us that are remaining in the state, because there's no real there with respect to investment quality.
So, guys, just so you all know, Tony comes with us every Tuesday morning, 6:35, and this is the fourth or fifth. This is a major story which he has been ahead of everybody else in the country on. Because he digs and does due diligence. So, I mean, kudos to you, Tony, being ahead of the curve on this, kind of spotting this before it actually happened. One more time, the governor is in with some, dirty, very sketchy, shady dealings. And you uncovered it first, my friend. So I just wanted to thank you. Give you the
listen, forewarned is forearmed. I do it for myself. And, it's if it helps somebody, be aware. Be very aware.
Thank you, Tony.
Take care, pal.
All right, pal. We'll talk to you later. We'll be back. Bob Lazari will join us. We'll quickly look at sports. A lot going on today. Stick around.